All right, before we get started, I want to just say how much I appreciate these 91 guys that we had. It was really a tough camp for these guys. They, fought to the very end. On the very last drive, they were still fighting, a bunch of them. And, this is the toughest part of the year from the standpoint of our business. And there's a lot of decisions tomorrow that's going to be, emotional for them, emotional for us. We've asked them to do things over the past, some of them 4 or 5 months, and they've never batted an eye. And I commend them for that. So with that, any questions? Lighthouse tonight.
Just how would you assess, what did you learn from your players in this fourth game?
That they would keep competing. They'd fight to the very end. Everything didn't go real well at all times, but the difference between this week and last week, I thought they made improvements from the standpoint of they just continued to play the next play, and that's what they did.
You made a decision on the kicker.
We're not talking about decisions tonight with anything.
Got you pleased though with the way Austin performed back-to-back weeks?
Well, again, he's supposed to perform.
What went into the defense having a pretty good camp and a pretty good run of preseason games?
Yeah, that's what's expected out of them every time they go out there. And they set the bar high last week. That was the first time that, really we had our starting defense out there. They set the bar high, and that's the expectations that we're looking for. So they've got to perform.
Why did you go with Austin? I thought you were going to switch games the last 2 weeks.
I never said that.
Yeah?
Did I say that?
I thought you did, after the game.
Did I? No, I'm sorry then.
That was never the plan, though, to go with Greg tonight?
We had talked about it, but it wasn't set in stone. Nothing was set in stone. We kicked during the course of the week also, so nothing was set in stone.
Did you just want to see if Austin could follow up the good week last week with another one?
Yeah, I guess. It was just he went 4 for 4, so we got another chance.
On the defense, what went into Wilkes plugging in as fast as he has?
Say that again.
What went into Steve Wilkes being able to plug in and operate with you as well as he has?
Steve's a good coach. He was a good coach when he was in Carolina. He was a good coach when he was in Arizona. He just didn't always have the tools. And, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that bad year, good year stuff. I just know when I talked to Steve, our vision for what we wanted to be defensively was very similar. And just by going against him in 2 NFC championship games, or 1 NFC championship game and a couple of games in the regular season, I knew what kind of defense he and the problems that he, caused.
Do you have any information on Drew Forbes' injury?
Not anything definitive.
How about Jimmy Gillen? How did you think he did tonight?
I thought it was up and down. I didn't see his stats yet, so some of those you get fooled by. I didn't see hang times or anything like that I think you need to evaluate kickers with, especially punters.
And how about from a holding standpoint? Do you think that's going a little bit better with him?
Well, I don't know what the kicker was tonight. Was he 3 for 3 or 2 for 2, 2 extra points? So, yeah, the holders like to get blamed sometimes whenever we miss field goals. So, at least he's not going to get blamed this time.
Did you get any clarity on the receiver position tonight? You had a lot of those guys you said you wanted to watch.
I thought it was very impressive that Ishmael Hyman dropped a couple of balls early, one of them for a big play. And, we continue to talk about just playing the next play, and he came back and had a pretty good game. So without looking at it, I would say that. I like guys that face adversity and come through it. And, he did that. So I thought Ratley moved around well. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Freddie, I know you haven't seen the kid yet, but what are your plans with Teller, who you got from Buffalo today?
Just to get him here, get him a physical in the morning and meet with him tomorrow afternoon. That's all I know right now on him. I know I like what I see on tape, but other than that, I talked to him on the phone. That's it. He's excited to come. Only a 3-hour drive, he said. So.
Could you be
Yeah, I mean, let's let him get here first and see, you know. Everybody's a candidate. I mean, you know, I said, like the kicker, I mean, hell, I can't tell you what we're going to do right after the first game, so I'll just say something. I mean, you know, y'all want all these answers that I can't give you, so I'd rather give you an answer and let you run with it, all right? I like to kind of see y'all run with it, but
No,
anyway.
knowing you have, 10 days now.
Did you hit another hole in one? Is that why you're saying so giddy?
You have 10 days to the opener. Your practice games are complete. How do you feel about where you stand?
I like our team. Again, this is never easy. We're going to have some good football players, some good guys, good people. When somebody busts their ass for you and they do everything that you want them to do, it's hard to make those business decisions to let people go. And there's going to be some of those decisions made tomorrow that's going to be very difficult. So, you know, I respect the hell out of the locker room that we had. They came together. We're truly not the Cleveland Browns until tomorrow. And then even after tomorrow or Saturday or Sunday, we're still always looking to improve. So nothing's never final in this business. But the guys that that's gonna not be here anymore, I hold utmost respect for those guys.
Freddie, as you went through this preseason, did you answer the questions that you were looking to answer and maybe find confidence where you entered camp maybe not having as much confidence?
I think we built toughness. We wanted to get that accomplished. We proved to ourselves that we could be tough. That's more so the case than anything. I think we were resilient from the standpoint of we didn't let one day affect the next day. We had a couple of days there where you're coming off of breaks, like an off day, and we came out and had good days. So that's a good sign that somebody can refocus and have a good day. Now, we had a couple of them that we weren't, but we did show that we had it in us. We showed that we were in it together at times. So we just need to continue to build on those things, because those things are ultimately what's going to affect our season. It's not the outside. It's not you guys saying this and that, the national guys saying this or that. It's not anything like that that's going to affect our season. That only affects you if you let it affect you. And I think we've got some guys that block out that noise. And if they do that, we'll be successful. It's never going to be about talent. These guys have been talented in other places, and I think they recognize that. And they recognize that there has to be more to a football team, a successful football team, than just talent. And if they do that and they'll keep that mantra going and they'll play for each other and hold each other accountable, we'll be fine. And I think we found out that we could potentially be that. And if we do, we'll be fine.
Did anything about your first training camp and preseason as a head coach surprise you?
No, I don't think so. I don't, you know how late you eat lunch sometimes? You don't eat lunch until 2, and then, I'm not being facetious. I mean, you eat lunch at 2 and then you're expected to eat dinner at 5:30. Like, that's kind of weird to me. You know, other than like some timing and some logistics things. No, not much. You know, I was very pleased on how we went to Indianapolis and how we performed and how we stayed focused and how we hung out with each other after practice. I thought that was a big building time for us as a team, within the groups and also collectively as a team.
What did you think of Braxton Miller's night?
I thought he did well. He had a couple balls that got called back from penalties, I think. But he took one screen and made something out of it. Didn't look like there was much there. Used his hands well. You know, I thought he did well.
You got a little bit of an extended look at Dontrell after he missed the past couple games. How do you feel about your backfield at this point going into the season?
I'm comfortable with our backfield. You know, we've been comfortable with our backfield for a while. We think Dearness can play. We think Dontrell can play. We think Trayon gives us some things, and I think Uno gives us some things. So did you see that run he made today with the safety in the hole? So that was a hell of a run, you know, and that ended up being a 6 or 7 yard gain.
What do you think Devereaux Lawrence's camp and preseason and the way he finished it tonight says about what he can do for you?
Well, he wasted no time tonight, right? That was him in the backfield, so I think he kind of wanted to show everybody that wasn't a fluke. So I think he certainly did that. I was very impressed with Devereaux. Devereaux carried the practices over to the games. He was the same way in practices. And, you know, I'm always happy when guys do that. You know, what you see in practice is what you see in the game. I just want to know what we're going to get when they cross the white lines. I know what I'm getting from him.